Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I want to play 3 of my most used bass lines for comping a jazz blues in F. And it may be very clear to everyone that I play blues in F a lot because I like it. I can't get over it. I just like to play blues in F. So there's 3 bass lines that I use a lot, especially with my students as well, to get started. The first one I took from Jimmy Smith's Chicken Shack. It's not even a real bass line, but it's a bass part, and it just plays the 1 and the 5 all the time. So I'll just play a 12-bar blues progression with this bass line. It's for the bass I use an F and a C in this case. I prefer to start with this one because it's a good one to get into the feeling of a good shuffle. So the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. On a side note, it's probably good to mention that I've created a simple, what I call a blues clavi. Certain types of music have a clavi, which is nothing more than a rhythmic pattern that you can fall back on. And I thought it would be a good thing, especially for organ players, to have a clavi. When you play organ, there's of course 3 layers that you all have to sort of manage yourself. It's the bass part, it's the chords or the comping, and the melodies or the solos. So I like to have a rhythmic pattern that I can use as the backbone of my playing. So I decided to create a simple blues clavi, a rhythmic pattern that I can always go back to as soon as I finish soloing or as soon as I have space in my right hand in between melodies or solos. I go back to that rhythmic pattern that I've created. Of course, it's not science. It's not a rule, and you can create your own rhythmic patterns. But I decided to create a simple one for my students to start with. So I've created this one, and I'll demonstrate it with the Jimmy Smith's Chicken Shack bass line or bass part, which was this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the clavi. 1. I play an F13 chord. Sorry, I misplaced that. So maybe occasionally you see me play some different notes, usually passing notes or leading notes or whatever. It's not so important as long as you got the groove going. You can keep it basic and simple. And the second bass line that I use a lot with my students, and also in combination with this clavi, is I guess it's a Jimmy McGriff bass line, a basic Jimmy McGriff bass line, because he has lots of advanced walking bass lines as well. But sometimes he uses something like this. So F, D, C, F sharp, or G flat. So F, D, C, F sharp, F. Variation on that is F, D, C, G. So you can also play a G, just a scale note. That's fine too. But I prefer that F sharp because I sometimes use that F sharp in my right hand as well as a chord. Not all the time, but sometimes I do like this. 9. I prefer to look at it as being a C chord, not an F sharp chord, but both is fine. But C is easier for me because it's basically a 5-1 progression for me. All of that doesn't really matter. It's about the basic bass line. So I play this F13 chord, which I've mentioned earlier. It's an E flat, an A, a D, and the F. It's a pretty wide chord. I like it. If you haven't played it before, you may have to do some stretching, but you'll get it. I don't have big hands, and I can still easily play this one. So I'll play the whole progression. Okay. The third bass line that I use a lot, it's really simple and straightforward as well. And it goes like this. It goes F, F, an octave up, E flat, C. So I'll play 12 bars. Same thing applies here. I sometimes play a couple of ghost notes. I do that without thinking. Don't mind those, just get the groove right and you play the ghost notes without even knowing that you're playing them. But the basic bass line is just... Okay, so that was my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something. If you did and you'd like to see more, let me know in the comments, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Have a nice day.